So rebel against defeat, chase excellence, masculinity, men first. Why do men stay in unfavorable relationships, and why do they take their exes back? Well, I'll tell you, there's 3 reasons in my book of why men stay in difficult, not recommended relationships. Number 1 is the investment. They've made a significant investment in time, money, resources, and attention, as well as emotional and mental in the relationship. And men hate to lose. That is why men stay in these ridiculous, unfavorable relationships, marriages, long-termers, you name it, because they don't want to lose and give up what they have given. Number 1. Number 2 reason, the second reason, they are believing in the fantasy and not the reality. See, we all met that gal, and dopamine went off in our brain, and it was amazing, and the first kiss or the first date or whatever. That's the fantasy. It's excitement. That's the dopamine. But what's the reality? The reality is that relationship morphed into something extremely frustrating, lack of affection, lack of attention, lack of importance. It just became a shit show. And so the man will cling back to the fantasy. Our brain does that. So you've got to really think about the reality of the situation. Why would you want your ex back? Why in God's green earth would you want to take an ex back that cheated? What's the reality? Unfaithful, unloyal, doesn't love you, doesn't respect you, but yet you're clinging into the fantasy of what you invested, what she was like in the beginning. That woman doesn't exist, guys, or that man, if you're a woman watching. And finally, number 3 is one-itis. One-itis is a big issue, meaning that girl is the only gal out there. Really? At the end of the day, she takes her makeup off. There's millions and millions of women. And again, if you've got one-itis, you've got to ask, what does she bring to the table? Outside the physical, what does she bring to the table? So let's recap. The investment, we put a lot of investment of tears, money, emotions, resources, attention, time. Number 2, you cling on to the fantasy versus reality. And number 3, you suffer from one-itis. Guys, don't go back to a relationship or stay in a relationship for those reasons. Stay in a relationship if it improves you as a person, if you've got a co-pilot, if you've got a support system, which are very difficult in today's world. That's just the cold hard truth. This is rebel against defeat, chase excellence, masculinity, men first.